We were talking about this at some point too, where love, isn't really even an emotion anymore. Love just is. It's reality. It is. It's everything.
Love
Like,
is.
what is existence? Existence is love. When I've had my, I'm curious to hear what you've experienced, Lisa. For myself, when I've had some out of body experiences through psychedelics or just some incredibly profound meditation moments, sometimes in sacred sites, sometimes like in the Great Pyramid or in Adam's Calendar in South Africa, I've just had these profound moments of what feels like I'm experiencing true reality. And the feeling and the only word that I can find, because our language is so limited to explain, the ineffable, to explain the non-material. But what I would always come back to is like, what does this higher reality feel like? It feels like love. Just feels like tons of love, like the most unconditional you've ever imagined, um, piercing through every aspect of your being. It's just all of it. It's just love. And I'd love to hear what you've experienced, pun intended, on that same kind of, I know you've had many amazing meditation and out of this reality experiences. So what has it felt like for you?
Clarity.
Mm, yeah.
I mean, again, just as a side note, and you touched on this, we have not caught up from a language perspective to our consciousness as to where we are today. I love making up words because it's time that we get some new words to describe. I love different languages because there is ways in which one word in another language can actually mean an entire paragraph. English language doesn't quite have that level of sophistication, I think. Um, but the etymology of words, I love. Um, as an example, the word genius um, actually means in Latin um, the ability to have a spirit guide with you,
Wow.
and that we are born innately with spirit guides. That's the Latin description of what genius is. And it's been so skewed to our modern day of what a genius is. And, one of my chapters in my book is creative genius. And I break down what that word really means. We all have genius within us, we all have creativity within us. We may not tap into it or tap into it the way we can. And I think it's these little moments of aha for me, these incredible, and sometimes those experiences that I've had that have been just downright gut wrenching have been moments of profound clarity. But I'm at a point in my life right now where I want to evolve with deeper states of consciousness through joy.
I'll have some of that.
I mean, we're still living in 3 dimension, but as we ascend to, into a fifth dimension reality, which I believe there are people absolutely on this planet that are, I think we're finding each other, which I think is fantastic. And that vibration is love. And we're not living in this dualistic world of black and white, yes or no, high or low, evil, light. And yet so we're in this 5 dimension, or we're moving into that 5 dimension and still being in a third dimensional reality, I think is fascinating, because I think that although past avatars, Buddha, Jesus, I think that they came in at 6 dimension. I don't think that they came in a third dimension reality, which is why they can come to life and then they close their auric field and we think that they have died, and they haven't. They just transcended in a different way. And we're learning how to, in this game of life, in this labyrinth of life, we're learning how to springboard from being here in physical form on earth from 3 dimension to 5 dimension without having to leave our physical body. That I think is one of the most profound things that maybe was done in the golden age or in other, you know, lifetimes of, ancient civilizations where, and I don't know, this is your area of expertise, but I can only imagine that there were just, it's like the cell phone. Nobody had the cell phone. Everybody has the cell phone. It took a very, very small, insignificant amount of time to have that leap. And I think the same thing is happening with consciousness, where, what do they say? You only need 11%, but now people are saying, well, we only need 3% of the population, and then it springboards to like the masses. And we'll see what happens. But again, to get back to your question, I the greatest, most important thing to me is my spiritual journey in consciousness. And because I make that such a high priority, along with my meditation, my breath work, my spiritual practice, I mean, I'm like you, I'm having epiphanies and aha moments daily. Like, wow, I didn't know that. Like, whoa, this is so cool. You know, I'm learning so much about myself. I'm learning so much about the world. I'm learning that every single thought and emotion that I have right now is so important to lay the groundwork of the experiences that I want, not what I don't want. And I say this all the time: focus on what you want. Don't focus on what you don't want, because you're going to get what you don't want.